Welcome to Asian ID and the roaring storm of the short drama universe. Who could have predicted that the third collaboration between Zhai Yiying and Karon would erupt like wildfire across every screen and social platform, leaving audiences breathless and unable to look away from Heartbeat, Rage but no reply on the very first day of its release. The drama shattered expectations with a staggering popularity score of 67.47 million, charging to the top of the Hangzhou new drama rankings like a runaway horse tearing through a midnight thunderstorm. But was it only the numbers that made people obsessed with this story? Perhaps what truly captured the audience was not merely the sweetness of romance, but the aching loneliness hidden beneath every smile, every silence, and every unread message lingering like an unfinished confession in the dark. Wasn't it? The story begins with Zhai Yiying, a dazzling rising celebrity surrounded by flashing cameras and glamorous lies. Yet behind her carefully painted smile exists a woman cornered by rumors, betrayal, and public humiliation after suffering harassment from an award-winning actor. So how terrifying must it feel when the entire world refuses to believe your truth? Every hateful comment thrown across the internet becomes another invisible scar on her fragile heart, and every accusation drags her deeper into a suffocating abyss where even breathing feels like a crime. But how long can a person continue smiling while drowning inside, desperate to clear her name? Zhai Yiying accepts an unusual commission that leads her into the silent world of Shenji, a socially anxious painter who has not spoken a single word for 3 years after surviving a devastating car accident. But can two broken souls truly save each other when they can barely save themselves? Shenji lives like a ghost trapped inside faded walls and unfinished paintings, his silence colder than winter rain dripping from abandoned rooftops. Yet beneath his trembling hands hides a heart still desperately searching for warmth. So how many people in real life are quietly waiting for someone to understand their pain without asking them to explain it? When Zhai Yiying first crashes into his isolated world, their relationship burns with sharp arguments, sarcastic exchanges, and emotional collisions that feel almost surreal to watch. But isn't genuine healing often born from discomfort rather than perfection? Zhai Yiying breathes astonishing life into Zhai Yiying's fierce optimism and razor-sharp humor, transforming her into a heroine who laughs loudly while secretly bleeding inside. And when her tears finally fall, they shatter across the screen like broken glass reflecting years of hidden suffering. So how can anyone remain unmoved by such raw vulnerability? Meanwhile, Karon masterfully captures Shenji's painful transformation from a man imprisoned by fear into someone willing to fight against the world for the person he loves. And isn't there something deeply beautiful about watching a quiet soul finally choose courage over silence? Their chemistry feels less like scripted acting and more like two lonely stars slowly finding each other across an endless night sky, creating a romantic tension so natural that viewers cannot help but wonder whether some connections are destined long before the cameras ever begin rolling. Don't they? What makes the drama especially addictive is its delicate balance between weakness, healing, and light-hearted comedy, because just when the story becomes unbearably heavy, a playful moment or awkward interaction suddenly appears like sunlight breaking through storm clouds. But isn't that exactly how life itself works? Unlike many chaotic romance dramas obsessed with jealousy and endless misunderstandings, this series allows its supporting characters to become protectors instead of destroyers, creating an atmosphere refreshingly free from exhausting female rivalry. So why do audiences crave kindness so desperately in modern storytelling? Perhaps it is because the real world already contains enough cruelty, enough manipulation, and enough loneliness to make people emotionally exhausted. And when viewers encounter a story where love becomes a source of healing rather than destruction, they instinctively cling to it like survivors reaching for floating driftwood in a violent sea. Wouldn't they? Of course, the drama is not without flaws, because certain parts of Shenji's background remain frustratingly vague, while some scenes drag forward awkwardly like a train losing momentum before reaching its destination. But can imperfect storytelling still touch the human heart more deeply than polished emptiness? Even the heavy beauty filters and overwhelming close-up shots occasionally weaken the emotional realism, making some moments feel artificial when they should have felt intimate. Yet isn't it fascinating how audiences are often willing to forgive technical imperfections when emotional sincerity shines brightly enough compared to the pair's previous collaborations? This drama may not deliver the same explosive intensity or unforgettable emotional peaks, but perhaps its quieter and more restrained atmosphere creates a different kind of beauty that slowly lingers inside the viewer long after the final scene fades to black. Doesn't it? Maybe that is why so many people continue discussing the series late into the night, replaying emotional moments in their minds while questioning why stories about wounded people searching for comfort feel so painfully relatable, because deep down, aren't we all carrying unread messages within our own hearts? And perhaps the most haunting part of all is this unsettling realization that in a world overflowing with noise, endless notifications, and superficial attention. The thing people crave most is still the same simple miracle they have always longed for since the beginning of time, which is to be seen, understood, and loved without fear. Isn't it? So when the screen finally turns dark and the final soundtrack slowly disappears into silence, the real question left echoing inside every viewer is no longer whether Zhai Yiying and Shenji's love story was convincing enough to become iconic, but whether we ourselves have ever truly answered the silent cries hidden behind the unread messages of the people standing closest to us. Have we? Thank you for watching the video. See you again.